The transport shuttle descended through the purple clouds of Nexus Prime, and Cadet Mira Chen pressed her face against the viewing port. Below her, the Celestial Combat Institute stretched across the valley like a silver fortress. Towers reached toward 3 moons hanging in the sky. Training fields glowed with energy shields. This was the most prestigious military academy in the known galaxy, and Mira was terrified. First human student, she whispered to herself. No pressure. The shuttle landed with a soft thump. The door hissed open, and Mira stepped onto alien soil for the first time. The air smelled like copper and flowers. Gravity felt slightly heavier than Earth's. She adjusted the strap on her bag and walked toward the main entrance. Other cadets stared at her. A Thorian student, covered in blue scales and standing nearly 8 feet tall, pointed at her with a clawed finger. 2 Vryn cadets, their bodies made of living crystal, whispered to each other in musical tones. A group of Keltorians with 6 arms each stopped their conversation to watch her pass. Mira kept her eyes forward. She had studied the Academy records. She knew what they thought of humans. Weak, fragile, soft-skinned prey animals from a backwater planet. Her people had only invented faster-than-light travel 15 years ago. Every other species here had been traveling the stars for centuries or millennia. The orientation hall was massive. Mira found a seat near the back, between a purple-furred Zelian and a reptilian Sarkesh. Neither acknowledged her presence. Headmaster Quellen, a floating jellyfish-like being surrounded by a membrane of water, began the welcome speech. You represent 47 species from across the galaxy. You are the elite, the strongest, the fastest, the most intelligent warriors your worlds can produce. Mira felt her stomach tighten. She wasn't the strongest anything. This academy will push you beyond your limits, Quellen continued. Our instructors are legends. They have fought in the clone wars of Sector 7. They have defended the core worlds from the Void Swarm. They will teach you to survive anything the universe can throw at you. The speech lasted another 20 minutes. Then came room assignments, schedule distribution, and a tour of the facilities. Mira walked through halls lined with trophy cases, displaying weapons and armor from 1,000 different battles. She passed training rooms where students practiced with energy weapons, plasma blades, and gravitational manipulation devices. Her first real class was the next morning, Advanced Combat Theory. The classroom was an amphitheater, with seats arranged in a circle around a central combat platform. Mira arrived early and chose a seat with a good view. Other students filed in, talking and laughing. Nobody sat near her. Then the instructor entered, and all conversation stopped. Instructor Vaxthor was a Crithian, a species known throughout the galaxy as natural warriors. He stood 7 feet tall, his body covered in a dark green exoskeleton that looked like living armor. 4 arms hung at his sides, each ending in 3-fingered hands that could crush steel. His head was elongated, with multifaceted eyes that could see in 16 different spectrums of light. When he walked, the floor trembled slightly. Good morning, Vaxthor said. His voice sounded like grinding stones. I am Instructor Vaxthor. I have killed more beings than most of you have ever seen. I have survived injuries that would destroy any of your bodies 3 times over. I will teach you combat theory, but theory means nothing without practice. He walked to the center of the platform. Combat is not about strength alone. It is about speed, precision, reading your opponent, understanding biology and physics. In the span of a heartbeat, Vaxthor moved suddenly. His body became a blur. He struck an invisible opponent with combinations too fast for Mira's eyes to follow. Then he stopped, perfectly still. In real combat, you have no time to think. Your body must react before your mind can process the threat. This is why most of you will die in your first real battle. The classroom was silent. Now, Vaxthor said, I need a volunteer for a demonstration. Nobody moved. Mira had heard stories about Vaxthor's demonstrations. Last semester, he had sent 3 students to the medical bay with broken bones. The semester before that, a Dracon cadet had spent 2 weeks in a healing tank after volunteering. Vaxthor's eyes swept the room. No one? You are warriors, yes? Or are you children playing dress-up? Still, nobody volunteered. Mira felt something stir in her chest. Maybe it was stupidity. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was the need to prove that humans belonged here. She stood up. I volunteer, instructor. Every head turned toward her. Vax Thor's multifaceted eyes focused on her small frame. He tilted his head, studying her like a scientist examining an interesting insect. You are the human, he said. It wasn't a question. Yes, instructor. Cadet Mira Chen. Human neural response time is approximately 0.2 seconds. Vax Thor said, walking toward her. My species operates at 0.03 seconds. Do you understand what this means? It means you're faster than me, instructor. It means I will strike you before your brain can tell your body to move. He gestured to the platform. Come. Mira walked down the steps, her heart pounding. The other students leaned forward in their seats. Some looked curious. Others looked like they were waiting to see something entertaining. She stepped onto the platform. Up close, Vax Thor was even more intimidating. His exoskeleton had scars that looked like they came from weapons that could vaporize mountains. This demonstration is simple, Vax Thor explained to the class. I will strike at the cadet. She will attempt to block. This will teach you all the importance of neural response time in combat. He looked down at Mira. Our medical technology can repair most damage. You will survive this. Mira swallowed hard. Understood, instructor. Take a defensive stance. Mira positioned herself the way she had learned in Earth's basic military training. Feet shoulder-width apart. Hands raised. Weight balanced. She knew it wouldn't matter. He was too fast. This was going to hurt. Ready? Vax Thor asked. Ready. Vax Thor's arm moved. Time seemed to compress. Mira's eyes registered motion, but her brain hadn't processed it yet. His strike was coming at her face. Fast enough to break her nose. Probably her cheekbone too. Then something happened. Mira's hand moved. Not because she told it to. Not because she had time to think. Her hand simply appeared in the path of Vax Thor's strike and intercepted it perfectly. Palm against his wrist, deflecting the blow away from her face. Vax Thor froze. His eyes widened. The classroom erupted in shocked whispers. Mira stared at her own hand, confused. How had she done that? Around the room, biometric scanners built into the walls began flashing red. Alert lights activated. The Academy's central computer had detected something unusual. Something that shouldn't be possible. An automated voice filled the room. Biological anomaly detected. Requesting medical analysis. Anomaly classification. Unknown. Vax Thor stepped back. All four arms raised in a gesture of pause. He looked at Mira with new interest. His head tilting at an angle that seemed almost predatory. But it wasn't aggression in his eyes. It was fascination. Cadet Chen, he said slowly. What just happened? Mira lowered her hand. It was shaking. I don't know, instructor. I didn't think. I just moved. Your neural response time should make that impossible. Vax Thor looked at the scanners, then back at her. Unless. He didn't finish the sentence. Instead, he turned to address the class. Demonstration concluded. Begin your reading assignments. Cadet Chen. You will report to Medical Officer Jintara immediately. We need to understand what we just witnessed. As Mira walked off the platform on trembling legs, she heard the whispers following her. The other cadets were no longer looking at her with dismissal or pity. They were looking at her with something else. Confusion. Uncertainty. And perhaps, for the first time, respect. But also fear. The medical bay smelled sterile and cold. Mira sat on an examination platform, while Medical Officer Jintara moved around her like a living sculpture. The officer's body was made of transparent crystal, and lights pulsed through her form in patterns that looked like thought itself. Hold still, Cadet Chen, Jintara said. Her voice sounded like wind chimes. The scanners need 3 more minutes. Blue light washed over Mira's body. Machines hummed and beeped. Holographic displays showed her skeleton, her organs, her nervous system in glowing detail. Instructor Vax Thor stood in the corner, watching silently with all four arms crossed. "This is remarkable," Jintara said, studying the displays. "Absolutely remarkable." "What is?" Mira asked. The medical officer touched a control panel. A new hologram appeared, showing Mira's brain and nervous system highlighted in red. When Instructor Vax Thor struck at you, your body released a massive amount of hormones. Adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, and several others. These chemicals flooded your bloodstream in less than 0.1 seconds. "Is that bad?" Mira asked nervously. "It should be impossible," Jintara replied. "The amount of hormones released would kill most species. But your body is designed to handle it. These chemicals temporarily increased your reaction speed, strength, and pain tolerance. Your pupils dilated to improve vision. Your heart rate jumped to 180 beats per minute. Blood flow to your muscles increased by 300%. Vax Thor stepped forward. "This is a natural biological function?" "Yes," Jintara said. "It appears to be a species-wide adaptation. Humans call it the fight or flight response. It evolved on their homeworld as a survival mechanism." She pulled up another display showing Earth rotating in space. Red text marked it as a Class 12 death world. "Earth is extremely dangerous. Predators, diseases, natural disasters, resource scarcity. Humans evolved this emergency response system to survive immediate threats. When their brain detects mortal danger, their body transforms itself into a temporary combat state." Mira stared at the displays. "I've never done that before." "Not like that. Because you have never faced genuine mortal danger before," Jintara explained. "Your conscious mind knew the Academy has safety protocols. But when Instructor Vax Thor struck, your subconscious recognized a real threat. A strike from a Crithian could have killed you. Your body reacted accordingly." Vax Thor's eyes gleamed with interest. "Can she control this response?" "Unknown. The Galactic Medical Database has limited information on humans. They are too new to space travel." Jintara looked at Mira curiously. "Tell me, do all humans have this ability?" "I think so," Mira said. "I mean, we learn about adrenaline in basic biology. Everyone has it. But I never knew it could make me that fast." "Fascinating," Vax Thor rumbled. "A species-wide biological weapon system." "It's not a weapon," Mira protested. "It's for survival. Running away from danger, mostly." "Perhaps," Vax Thor said. "But I saw what happened. You did not run. You blocked a strike that should have been impossible to block." Jintara saved the scan data. "I am sending this information to the Galactic Medical Council. They will want to study this phenomenon. Cadet Chen, you are cleared to return to classes, but please report any unusual symptoms." Mira nodded and left the medical bay. As she walked through the corridors, she noticed other students watching her. Word had spread fast. The human who moved impossibly fast. The human who blocked Instructor Vax Thor. The next 3 days were strange. Some students approached Mira with questions. A Vrin cadet named Shael asked about Earth and its dangers. A young Keltorian named Raxul invited her to study together. But others kept their distance, whispering when she passed. On the 4th day, Mira was eating lunch in the common hall when a massive shadow fell over her table. She looked up to see Dreknor, a Talaxian warrior cadet. He was 8 feet tall, covered in thick gray hide that looked like stone. His people were bred for combat over thousands of generations. "Human," Dreknor said, his voice deep as thunder. "I hear you blocked Vax Thor's strike." "I got lucky," Mira said carefully. "Luck." Dreknor laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "My people do not believe in luck. We believe in strength, in breeding, in genetic superiority." He leaned down, his face close to hers. "You used a chemical trick. Your body drugged itself to move faster. This is not real strength." Other students had stopped eating to watch. The common hall grew quiet. "I didn't mean to challenge anyone," Mira said. I was just demonstrating for class. Nevertheless, you have disrupted the natural order, Dreknor said. The weak do not block strikes from their superiors. So I challenge you. An authorized sparring match. Tomorrow at noon. Combat Arena 3. Mira's stomach dropped. I don't want to fight you. Then you admit humans are weak. You admit your trick means nothing. Mira felt anger rising in her chest. She had come to this academy to prove humans belonged here, to show they could learn and grow alongside other species. But if she backed down now, everyone would think humans were cowards. Fine, she said quietly. I accept your challenge. Dreknor smiled, showing teeth like broken glass. Excellent. Do not worry, human. The medical bay is very advanced. They will put you back together. He walked away. Laughing, Shael, the Vryn cadet, slid into the seat across from Mira. Her crystalline body pulsed with worried colors. Mira, you should not do this. Dreknor has won 47 matches. He has never lost. His species has redundant organs, dense muscle tissue, and can sustain injuries that would kill most beings. I know, Mira said, but I already accepted. That evening, Mira went to the training center. She practiced basic combat moves until her muscles ached. She tried to trigger the adrenaline response deliberately. She imagined danger. She remembered Vaxthor's strike. She tried meditation, concentration, even slapping herself to create stress. Nothing worked. Her body remained normal. Fast for a human, but not superhuman. Not combat-ready against someone like Dreknor. She sat down on the training mat, breathing hard. Come on, she whispered to herself. Work. Please work. But deep inside, she knew the truth. The adrenaline response only activated for real danger. Real mortal threat. And tomorrow's match would have safety protocols, energy shields that prevented lethal damage. Medical teams standing by. Her body would know she was not truly in danger. She would face Dreknor as just a normal human, weaker, slower, and completely outmatched. News of the match spread through the academy like wildfire. By the next morning, everyone knew. The human who blocked Vaxthor would fight the undefeated Talaxian champion. Betting pools formed. Most students bet on Dreknor winning in under 30 seconds. Mira walked to Combat Arena 3 with heavy steps. The arena was packed. Hundreds of students filled the observation seats. Even some instructors had come to watch, including Vaxthor. The arena floor was a circular platform 50 feet across. Energy barriers hummed around its edge. Display screens showed both fighters' vital signs. A referee, a floating drone with multiple sensors, hovered at the center. Dreknor was already there, stretching his massive arms. He wore minimal armor, just protective plates over his vital organs. His confidence was absolute. Mira stepped onto the platform wearing standard training gear. Her hands were shaking. She clenched them into fists to hide it. The referee's mechanical voice echoed through the arena. This is an authorized sparring match. Safety protocols are active. Lethal force is prohibited. Medical teams are standing by. Fighters, take your positions. Mira and Dreknor faced each other across the platform. The size difference was absurd. He was twice her height, and probably 5 times her weight. Last chance to surrender, human, Dreknor called out. Mira shook her head. Let's get this over with. The referee counted down. 3, 2, 1, begin. Dreknor charged forward like a tank. Mira tried to dodge, but he was faster than she expected. His fist caught her in the ribs, lifting her off her feet and throwing her 10 feet backward. She crashed onto the platform, gasping. Pain exploded through her chest. The crowd roared. On the display screens, her vital signs spiked. Mira struggled to her feet. She tried to feel the adrenaline, tried to trigger that superhuman state. Nothing happened. Her body knew the shields would protect her from death. Dreknor attacked again. Mira managed to block 1 strike, but 3 more got through. She felt something crack in her shoulder. Blood filled her mouth. The world tilted. Disappointing. Dreknor said, standing over her. I expected more from the one who blocked Vaxthor. Mira rolled away, buying time. Her vision was blurry. Every breath hurt. This was humiliating. Everyone was watching her fail. Watching humanity fail. Dreknor raised his fist for a finishing blow. Then he paused. He looked at the referee drone. I want a real fight, he announced. Disable my safety protocols. The crowd gasped. The referee hesitated. That is against regulations. I am Talaxian. I do not need protection from a human. Dreknor touched his wrist device. Safety protocols disengaged. The referee's voice changed, becoming urgent. Warning. Safety systems disengaged for Fighter 2. Lethal force is now possible. Medical override. Authorized. Those words cut through Mira's pain like a knife. Lethal force is now possible. Her body heard it. Her subconscious understood. This was no longer a sparring match. This was real danger. Real mortal threat. Something ignited in Mira's chest. Her vision sharpened instantly. The pain in her ribs and shoulder vanished, replaced by cold clarity. Her heart hammered like a war drum. Time seemed to slow down. The adrenaline response had activated. Mira stood up, and for the first time, Dreknor looked uncertain. Mira's breathing changed, deep and controlled. Her pupils dilated until her eyes looked almost black. The pain from her injuries disappeared completely. Buried under a flood of chemicals that told her body one simple message: survive. Dreknor noticed the change. He hesitated for just a moment, confused by the transformation in the small human before him. That moment cost him. Mira moved. Not with thought, but with pure instinct. Her body had become something different. Something focused entirely on the threat in front of her. She dodged his next strike by a fraction of an inch, feeling the wind from his fist pass by her face. The crowd leaned forward. This was not the same fighter from 30 seconds ago. Dreknor attacked again. Faster this time. His massive fists came in combinations that had defeated 47 opponents. But Mira's enhanced perception made his movements seem almost predictable. She slipped under his guard and struck his knee joint. Not hard enough to break it, but enough to make him stumble. He roared in anger and surprise. Talaxians did not stumble. What is happening? Someone in the crowd shouted. On his observation platform, Instructor Vaxthor leaned forward, all four arms gripping the railing. His multifaceted eyes tracked every movement. Magnificent, he whispered. Mira did not think. Thinking was too slow. Her body had taken control. Using every scrap of training, every instinct, every desperate need to survive, she moved like water around Dreknor's attacks, striking whenever he left an opening. Her hits were not powerful enough to seriously hurt him, but they were fast and precise. Nerve clusters, joint connections, pressure points. Dreknor grew frustrated. He was stronger, bigger, better trained. But he could not hit her. Every strike met empty air. Meanwhile, her smaller hits were accumulating. His left arm was slower now. His right leg was not supporting his weight properly. Impossible, Dreknor shouted. He abandoned technique and simply charged, trying to use his mass to crush her. Mira dropped and rolled. As Dreknor passed over her, she kicked upward with both legs, striking the back of his knee. He crashed to the ground face first. The platform shook from his impact. The arena fell silent. Dreknor pushed himself up slowly. Blood dripped from his nose. His eyes were wide with disbelief. He had never been knocked down before. Not once in 47 matches. Stay down, Mira heard herself say. Her voice sounded strange, distant and cold. Dreknor's pride would not allow surrender. He stood and attacked again. Wilder now. Desperate. Mira met him head-on. Their exchange lasted 15 seconds. 15 seconds of strikes, blocks, and counters too fast for most observers to follow. Then Mira saw her opening. Dreknor overextended on a punch, his torso exposed. She struck his solar plexus with all her enhanced strength. The impact drove the air from his lungs. Before he could recover, she swept his legs and drove her elbow into his shoulder, forcing him down. Dreknor fell to his knees, gasping for breath. Mira stood behind him, her arm around his throat in a submission hold. Not choking him, but positioned to do so instantly if needed. "Yield," she said quietly. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Dreknor tapped her arm twice. The universal signal of surrender. The referee drone announced. Match concluded. Winner: Cadet Mira Chen. The crowd erupted. Some cheered. Others simply stared in shock. Mira released Dreknor and stepped back. As she did, the adrenaline began to fade. The pain came rushing back like a tsunami. Her ribs screamed. Her shoulder felt like it was on fire. Her vision blurred. She collapsed to her knees, gasping. Medical teams rushed onto the platform. One team surrounded Dreknor, checking his injuries. Another reached Mira, scanning her with portable devices. 3 fractured ribs, a medic said urgently. Dislocated shoulder. Severe bruising across her entire torso. How was she still fighting? Adrenaline, another medic replied. She did not feel any of it. They lifted Mira onto a floating stretcher. As they carried her away, she caught a glimpse of the crowd. Students from dozens of species watched her pass. Their expressions ranged from respect to fear to complete confusion. She also saw Instructor Vax Thor. He nodded once, a gesture of acknowledgement from a master to a worthy student. Then Mira's eyes closed, and darkness took her. She woke in the medical bay 6 hours later. The pain was gone, replaced by a dull ache. Medical technology had repaired her fractured ribs and relocated her shoulder. Jintara stood nearby, reviewing data on holographic screens. "Welcome back, Cadet Chen," the medical officer said. "You gave us quite a show." Mira sat up slowly. "Did I really win?" "You did. Dreknor is in the next bay, recovering from bruised organs and damaged pride." Jintara approached with a scanner. "Tell me, do you remember the fight clearly?" "Not really," Mira admitted. "It's like watching someone else's memories. I remember feeling no pain, no fear, just the need to win." "Classic adrenaline response," Jintara said. "But the readings we captured are extraordinary. Your reaction time was 0.05 seconds during the fight. Your strength output increased by 40%. Your pain receptors were completely suppressed. You fought with 3 broken ribs and never noticed." She pulled up a comparison chart. "Look, this shows your normal state versus your enhanced state. The difference is remarkable." Mira studied the charts. The numbers were incredible. "Can I learn to control it? To trigger it when I need it?" "That is an excellent question," a deep voice said from the doorway. Instructor Vax Thor entered, his massive frame filling the entrance. He approached Mira's bed with surprising gentleness. "You fought well, Cadet Chen. Better than well. You defeated an opponent who should have been impossible for you to defeat. Thank you, Instructor. But you also revealed something that is causing concern." Vax Thor continued. "I have been in meetings with the Academy Council for the past 4 hours. They are debating what your abilities mean." "What do you mean?" Jintara brought up a galaxy map. "News of your fight has spread across multiple star systems. The video has been viewed millions of times. Everyone is asking the same questions. Are humans a warrior species hiding their true nature? What happens when millions of humans all trigger this response at once?" Mira felt cold. "We're not warriors. We're explorers. Scientists. We came to space to learn and make friends." "I believe you," Vax Thor said. "But others do not. They see a species with a biological weapon system built into every member. They see danger." Before anyone could respond, an alarm sounded throughout the medical bay. Red lights flashed. Jintara rushed to a communication console. "What is happening?" Vax Thor demanded. A voice came through the speakers, urgent and frightened. "Emergency transmission from New Terra Colony. Human settlement. They are under attack. requesting immediate assistance. The galaxy map zoomed in on a small colony world at the edge of explored space. Mira recognized it. New Terra was one of humanity's first colony worlds. 50,000 people, mostly families, scientists, farmers, not soldiers. Who is attacking them? Vaxthor asked. Identification confirmed, the voice replied. Zareth Dominion warships. 3 vessels. They are demanding immediate surrender. Mira's blood ran cold. The Zareth Dominion was known for enslaving conquered populations. They were brutal and efficient. How long until help arrives? Nearest military fleet is 6 days away. New Terra has minimal defenses. Standard protocol recommends immediate surrender to prevent casualties. No, Mira whispered. Then louder. No. They cannot surrender. The Zareth will enslave them. No. And 100% in Sebelt way. No. 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 Mira whispered, please, and now. No. 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 Vaxthor's expression was grim. New Terra has no choice. They cannot fight 3 warships. They have 50,000 humans, Mira said, climbing out of bed despite Jintara's protests. You've seen what 1 human can do under threat. What do you think 50,000 can do when they face extinction? They are civilians, Jintara said, not trained fighters. It doesn't matter, Mira said. If they truly believe they will die or be enslaved, every single one of them will become what I became in that arena. The Zareth have no idea what they are attacking. Vaxthor stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned to the communication console. Get me a direct link to New Terra. Immediately. Instructor, I do not have authority. Now, Vaxthor roared. The console flickered to life. A woman's face appeared, young and terrified. This is New Terra Control. Who am I speaking with? This is Instructor Vaxthor of the Celestial Combat Institute. Who is in command there? Commander Sarah Okonkwo. But we have no military experience. We are just colonists. The Zareth are giving us 1 hour to surrender, or they will open fire. Vaxthor looked at Mira, then back at the screen. Commander Okonkwo, I am going to tell you something that will sound insane, but you must trust me. Humanity has a biological advantage that no one in the galaxy understands yet. If you and your people truly believe you are facing death, your bodies will transform. You will become capable of things you never imagined. Sarah's expression was doubtful. I don't understand. You will, Mira said, stepping into view of the camera. Commander, tell everyone to arm themselves with whatever they have. Tools, farming equipment, anything. Then you need to make them understand this is real. This is life or death. No rescue is coming. When the Zareth attack, your people will fight with everything they have, and their bodies will respond. This is crazy, Sarah said. Trust me, Mira replied. I just defeated a Talaxian warrior while fighting with broken ribs. I did not even feel the pain. You have 50,000 people who can do the same thing. The Zareth think they are attacking helpless civilians. They are about to learn what humans are really capable of. Sarah stared at them through the screen. Fear and hope warred in her eyes. Then she nodded. Okay. I will trust you. What exactly do we need to do? Commander Sarah Okonkwo stood in the central control room of New Terra Colony, staring at the communication screen. Outside the reinforced windows, 3 Zareth warships hung in orbit like dark predators. They were waiting for the surrender deadline to expire. 53 minutes, her second officer reported. Then they opened fire. Sarah took a deep breath. She touched the colony-wide communication panel. Attention all colonists. This is Commander Okonkwo. I need everyone to stop what they are doing and listen carefully. Across New Terra, 50,000 people paused. In the farming districts, workers looked up from their crops. In the residential zones, families gathered around screens. In the engineering sectors, technicians stopped their repairs. The Zareth Dominion has given us 1 hour to surrender, Sarah continued. If we refuse, they will attack. Our orbital defenses can maybe stop 1 ship, but not 3. Standard protocol says we should surrender to save lives. She paused, letting that sink in. Then her voice hardened. But I have just learned something about us. About humans. About what our bodies can do when we truly face death. She explained what Mira had told her. About the adrenaline response. About the temporary transformation that made humans faster, stronger, fearless. I know it sounds impossible, Sarah said. But we have no choice. We cannot surrender. The Zareth enslave conquered populations. They will separate our families. Our children will grow up in chains. So I am activating Protocol Desperate Hour. She pressed a sequence of commands. Alarms sounded throughout the colony. Red lights flashed. Every colonist's personal device buzzed with emergency authorization codes. This is not a drill, Sarah said firmly. We face extinction. Every person capable of fighting must arm themselves with whatever you can find. Mining equipment. Construction tools, farming implements, anything. When the Zareth come, we fight. We fight for our children. We fight for our freedom. We fight to survive. She closed the channel. Her hands were shaking. Ma'am, her second officer said quietly. Are you sure about this? These are farmers and scientists, not soldiers. That is what the Zareth think too, Sarah replied. They are about to learn they are wrong. The Zareth warships descended through the atmosphere exactly 1 hour later. They were sleek vessels, covered in dark metal, bristling with weapons. Troop transport ships followed behind them, ready to land occupation forces. Commander Zektor of the Zareth watched the human colony through his ship's view screen. He saw simple buildings, agricultural fields, small defensive towers that would fall within minutes. He smiled, his sharp teeth gleaming. Pitiful, he said to his bridge crew. These humans barely know how to travel between stars. They will surrender quickly once we demonstrate our power. Commander, we are detecting unusual activity, a sensor officer reported. The humans are gathering in large groups. They appear to be arming themselves? Zektor laughed. With what? Farming tools? Let them try. Begin the landing operation. Show them what happens to those who defy the Dominion. The first Zareth troops landed in Agricultural District 7. 200 soldiers in powered armor, carrying plasma rifles and energy shields. They expected terrified civilians running for shelter. Instead, they found 3,000 humans waiting for them. The humans held mining lasers, construction plasma cutters, heavy wrenches, and sharpened farming tools. But it was not the weapons that made the Zareth hesitate. It was the humans themselves. Their eyes were dilated. Their breathing was controlled and steady. They stood without fear, like predators ready to defend their territory. Surrender immediately. The Zareth commander broadcast through his armor speakers. You cannot win against the humans attacked. What followed shocked every Zareth soldier. The humans moved with impossible speed and coordination. A farmer with a plasma cutter dodged rifle fire and disabled a soldier's leg servos. An engineer using a heavy wrench crushed another soldier's helmet. A grandmother with a sharpened rake drove it through an armor joint, with enough force to pierce the metal. The humans felt no fear. When they were hit, they kept fighting. A man took a plasma burn to his shoulder and continued attacking as if nothing had happened. A woman with a broken arm used it to block a rifle while her other hand struck with a mining laser. The Zareth fell back in confusion. Their training had not prepared them for this. Civilians were supposed to flee or surrender. These humans fought like elite warriors who felt no pain and knew no fear. Within 20 minutes, the Zareth were retreating to their ships, leaving 30 soldiers dead and 50 more injured. The humans had lost lives too, but they had won. In orbit, Commander Zektor stared at his tactical display in disbelief. What are these creatures? He whispered. Similar scenes played out across New Terra. Every landing site became a battlefield, where humans transformed by adrenaline fought with desperate courage. The Zareth had superior weapons and armor, But the humans had something more powerful. The absolute certainty that they were fighting for survival. News of the battle spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. Every major civilization received the transmission. Every species watched the footage in stunned silence. At the Celestial Combat Institute, the Academy Council gathered in emergency session. Headmaster Quellen floated at the center of the chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing the Battle of New Terra. "This changes everything," Council Member Torvan said. The ancient reptilian gestured at the screens. "We are watching untrained civilians defeat a professional military force. Not through technology or tactics, but through biology. The humans claim it is a survival adaptation," another council member said. "An evolutionary response to their dangerous home world. Adaptation or weapon, the result is the same," Torvan replied. "Every human has this capability. What happens if humanity decides to use it for conquest instead of defense?" "They saved their colony," Instructor Vaxthor said, from his position at the council table. "They fought because they had no choice. That is not conquest. That is survival." "Today it was survival," Torvan said. "Tomorrow, who knows? We must consider quarantining humanity before they become a threat. Quarantine an entire species because they defended themselves?" Vaxthor's voice rumbled with anger. "That is fear talking, not wisdom." Before the argument could continue, alarms sounded throughout the academy. A communication officer rushed in. "Urgent message from Zareth Space. They are mobilizing their warfleet." Quellen's membrane pulsed with alarm. "Explain." "The Zareth Dominion is humiliated by their defeat at New Terra. They claim humans are a dangerous species that must be eliminated before they spread further. They are assembling a fleet to attack Earth itself." The council chamber fell silent. "How long until the fleet reaches Earth?" Quellen asked quietly. 3 weeks. Maybe 4. Earth's defenses are minimal. They rely on their remote location for security. Mira, who had been standing in the observation area with other cadets, felt her heart stop. Earth, her home, her family. 3 billion humans, who had no idea what was coming. Vaxthor stood, his massive frame towering over the council table. "We must help them. This is not our war," Torvan said. "If we intervene, we risk conflict with the Zareth Dominion. They are a powerful military force. If we do nothing, we watch an entire species be destroyed. Because we are afraid." Vaxthor countered. "Is that what the Celestial Combat Institute stands for? Cowardice? Cowardice?" The council members argued among themselves. Mira could not listen anymore. She turned and ran from the chamber. Her mind raced. Earth needed help. Her people needed warning. But she was half a galaxy away, a single cadet with no authority and no resources. She burst into the training hall and collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. Tears of frustration burned her eyes. She had proven humans could fight. She had shown their biological advantage. But what good was any of that if her entire planet was about to be destroyed? Cadet Chen, she looked up. Instructor Vaxthor had followed her. Behind him stood a dozen other instructors from different species. Medical Officer Jintara was there. So was Combat Instructor Relthas, the Thorian who taught advanced tactics. Even Instructor Quinvar, who taught starship operations. "What are you doing?" Mira asked. "We are going to Earth," Vaxthor said simply. "The Council can debate politics. We are warriors and teachers. We do not abandon students or allies. But the Council does not command us," Relthas said. "We volunteer our services. We have ships. We have knowledge of Zareth tactics and technology. And we have you." "Me?" Vaxthor nodded. "You understand your species better than anyone. You have proven humans can fight when necessary. Now, you must help us teach them to fight smart. We cannot stop the Zareth fleet with force alone, but perhaps we can teach Earth to defend itself." Jintara stepped forward. "I am also coming. If humans will be fighting, they will need medical support, someone who understands their unique biology." Mira looked at them all. Instructors from a dozen different species. volunteering to risk their lives for a planet they had never visited, for people they barely knew. Because it was right. "When do we leave?" she asked. "Within the hour," Vaxthor said. "We take the Academy transport ship Valiant. It will be a long journey to Earth, but we should arrive before the Zareth fleet. Then we have time to prepare," Mira said, standing straighter. "Time to teach my people how to survive what is coming." Vaxthor's multifaceted eyes gleamed with approval. "Indeed. Now come. We have much work to do." As they left the training hall, Mira looked back one last time. 3 weeks ago, she had arrived at this academy as a scared cadet from a backwater planet. Now she was returning home, leading a team of alien warriors to save her world. The galaxy had learned what humans could do when threatened. Now it was time to teach her people how to fight back. The transport ship Valiant cut through hyperspace toward Earth, carrying its unusual crew. Mira stood in the training bay with Instructor Vaxthor, sweat dripping down her face. They had been training for 6 hours straight. "Again," Vaxthor commanded. Mira closed her eyes and focused. She tried to reach that place inside herself, where the adrenaline lived. The place that had saved her life against Dreknor. For 3 weeks, they had been working on this, learning to trigger a controlled version of the response without genuine mortal terror. "Feel your heartbeat," Vaxthor said quietly. "Remember the moment when you knew Dreknor could kill you. Not the fear, the certainty. Your body understood the truth before your mind did." Mira breathed slowly. She visualized the arena. Dreknor's disabled safety protocols. The announcement that lethal force was possible. That moment when everything changed, her heart rate increased. She felt warmth spreading through her muscles. Her vision sharpened slightly. Not the full transformation, but something. A whisper of that power, instead of a flood. "Better," Vaxthor said. "You are learning, not to summon the full response, but to touch its edge. Enough to enhance your abilities without losing control." Mira opened her eyes. "Will this be enough to help Earth?" "I do not know," Vaxthor admitted. "But it is more than your people had before. Come, we arrive in 2 hours. You should prepare." Earth looked beautiful from orbit. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown continents. Mira had not seen her home in 4 months. It felt like a lifetime ago. The Valiant's communication officer established contact with Earth Defense Command. Within minutes, Mira was speaking to General Marcus Webb, commander of Earth's Small Space Defense Force. "Cadet Chen," General Webb said, his lined face serious. "We received your warning. We have been preparing, but frankly, we are outmatched. The Zareth fleet has 30 warships. We have 5 defense stations and a dozen patrol ships. We cannot win a direct fight." "You do not need to win," Vaxthor said, stepping into view of the camera. "You need to survive long enough for reinforcements to arrive. The Galactic Council is finally mobilizing a response fleet, but they are 5 days behind the Zareth." "5 days?" General Webb looked grim. "Our defenses will fall in hours. Maybe a day, if we are lucky." "That is why we are here," Mira said. "General, we need to implement Protocol Desperate Hour across the entire planet. Every military base, every city, every town. Humanity's biological advantage only activates under genuine threat. When the Zareth attack, your soldiers will transform. Your civilians will become capable of incredible things." Nuterra proved that, Instructor Relthas added. His massive Thorian frame filled half the screen. Untrained colonists defeated professional soldiers because their bodies gave them temporary superhuman abilities. Earth has 3 billion people. If even a fraction fight back, the Zareth cannot occupy you. General Webb rubbed his temples. "This is insane. You want me to tell the entire planet to arm themselves and fight?" "No," Mira said. "We want you to tell them the truth. That help is coming. But they must survive until it arrives. That their bodies have a defense system evolution gave them. That they are stronger than they know." The general was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. "All right. I will coordinate with planetary governments. We have 20 hours before the Zareth arrive. God help us all. The next 20 hours were chaos. Mira and the other instructors split up, traveling to military bases around Earth. They taught soldiers about the adrenaline response. They demonstrated techniques for controlled triggering. They explained Xerath tactics and weaknesses. At Fort Carson in North America, Mira stood before 500 soldiers. The Xerath rely on intimidation, she explained. Their armor is impressive, but it has weak points. Joints. Power connections. Helmet seals. Your weapons can damage them if you are fast and precise enough. She showed them footage from New Terra. Humans fighting with mining equipment and tools, exploiting those exact weaknesses. The soldiers watched in amazement. But the most important thing is this, Mira continued. When the battle starts, your body will try to help you. Your adrenaline will activate. You will feel no fear and no pain. Do not fight this. Trust your body, trust your instincts, and remember you are not fighting to win. You are fighting to survive until help arrives. Similar scenes played out across the planet. In Beijing, Instructor Jin Tara taught medics how to treat injuries in humans experiencing adrenaline responses. In Sao Paulo, Instructor Quinvar trained pilots on Xerath ship vulnerabilities. In Mumbai, Relthas demonstrated close combat techniques against armored opponents. The world watched and prepared. News channels broadcast the training. Scientists explained the biology. Governments distributed weapons and organized civilian defense groups. Children were evacuated to deep shelters. Everyone else prepared to fight. As the deadline approached, Mira returned to the Valiant in orbit. She stood on the bridge with Vax Thor and the other instructors, watching Earth turn slowly below them. They are as ready as we can make them, Vax Thor said quietly. It will not be enough, Mira replied. Even with adrenaline, humans are not invincible. Many will die. Yes, Vax Thor agreed. But they will die free. And their sacrifice will buy time for others to live. Warning alarms sounded across the bridge. The tactical officer called out. Hyperspace signatures detected. Multiple contacts. The Xerath fleet is arriving. 30 Xerath warships materialized in orbit, dark and menacing. They moved into attack formation, surrounding the planet. The largest ship, the flagship Dominator, broadcast a message. Humans of Earth. Commander Zektor's voice echoed across all frequencies. Your colony at New Terra humiliated the Xerath Dominion. You revealed yourselves as a dangerous species. We offer one chance. Total surrender. Disarm completely. Accept Dominion rule. Or face extinction. General Webb's response was broadcast from Earth Defense Command. This is General Marcus Webb of Earth. Your answer is no. Come and try to take our world. The Xerath fleet opened fire. The Battle of Earth would be remembered for 1,000 years. Xerath warships bombarded defense stations while troop carriers descended toward major cities. Earth's small fleet fought desperately, taking down 3 enemy ships before being destroyed. The defense stations fell one by one. Then the ground invasion began. In New York, 10,000 Xerath soldiers landed in Central Park. They expected panic and chaos. Instead, they faced 50,000 humans, who had activated Protocol Desperate Hour. The battle raged through streets and buildings. Humans using everything from military rifles to construction equipment fought with impossible courage. In Tokyo, Xerath forces surrounded the government district. Japanese self-defense forces, enhanced by adrenaline, held them off for 6 hours. Civilians evacuated successfully. When the Xerath finally broke through, they found empty buildings and more ambushes waiting. In London, in Moscow, in Cairo, in Sydney, the pattern repeated. The Xerath had superior technology and numbers, but the humans had desperation, biology, and the knowledge that they were fighting for their families. Aboard the Valiant, Mira watched tactical displays showing battles across the planet. Every screen showed red markers indicating combat. Her people were dying, but they were also fighting and surviving. The Xerath are taking heavy casualties, the tactical officer reported. They expected quick victory. Instead, they are bogged down in every major city. How much longer can Earth hold? Mira asked. Unknown, but longer than anyone predicted. Vaxthor studied the displays. The Zareth commander is growing frustrated. Look at his ship movements. He is preparing to use orbital bombardment. If he cannot conquer Earth quickly, he will destroy it. We have to stop him, Mira said. How? We have one transport ship against 30 warships. Mira thought fast. The instructors on your ship, you represent 12 different species. Species that the Galactic Council will listen to. Species that can testify about what you have seen here. You want us to broadcast what is happening? Jintara asked. Yes, Mira said. Show the galaxy the truth. Not just humans fighting, but why they fight. Show them families defending children. Show them elderly people protecting their homes. Show them that humanity is not a warrior species choosing violence. We are a species choosing survival. Vaxthor's eyes gleamed. A trial by public opinion. Exactly. The Zareth claim we are dangerous. Let the galaxy decide if defending your home makes you a monster. Within minutes, the Valiant began broadcasting. Every instructor gave testimony. They showed footage from New Terra and Earth. They explained human biology not as a weapon system, but as an adaptation born from a difficult world. They spoke about Mira, about her courage and her desire for peace. The broadcast reached every corner of the galaxy. Billions watched humans fighting impossible odds. They saw mothers protecting children with garden tools. They saw elderly people standing guard with hunting rifles. They saw teenagers carrying wounded to safety while injured themselves. They saw humanity at its most desperate and most beautiful. Public opinion shifted like a tidal wave. Species that had remained neutral began calling for intervention. The Zareth Dominion faced condemnation from dozens of civilizations. Even species that had considered humanity dangerous saw them differently now. And most importantly, the Galactic Council response fleet, still 2 days away, received orders to move faster. Much faster. On the Zareth flagship, Commander Zektor watched his casualties mount. His soldiers were dying in every city. His warships were under constant attack from human guerrilla fighters using stolen Zareth weapons. And now the entire galaxy was watching, judging his actions. Commander, his second officer said nervously, the Galactic Council has transmitted a warning. If we continue this attack, we face sanctions and possible military intervention. Zektor's claws dug into his command chair. He had come to destroy a primitive species. Instead, he had started a galactic incident. Pull back, he ordered finally. Recall all ground forces. We are leaving. The Zareth fleet began withdrawing. Human forces, exhausted and bloodied, watched them go. Cheers erupted across Earth. They had survived. Against all odds, they had survived. 1 week later, Mira stood in the Galactic Council chamber. The vast room held representatives from over 100 species. She wore her academy uniform, standing straight despite her exhaustion. Cadet Mira Chen, Headmaster Quellen said, his membrane pulsing with light. You have done something unprecedented. You showed the galaxy that humanity deserves its place among the stars. I did not do it alone, Mira replied. Instructor Vaxthor and the others risked everything to help my people. And my people proved they are worth defending. Indeed, Quellen agreed. Which is why the Council has made several decisions. First, humanity is granted full membership in the galactic community. Second, the Celestial Combat Institute will establish a branch campus on Earth. And third, you are hereby promoted to Junior Instructor. You will help teach both humans and aliens about biological diversity and mutual understanding. Mira felt tears in her eyes. Thank you. After the ceremony, she found Vaxthor waiting outside the chamber. So, Junior Instructor, he rumbled. Are you ready to continue teaching? Always, Mira said, but I learned something important. What is that? The adrenaline response makes us strong for a few minutes. But what makes humanity truly strong is what we do afterward. We rebuild. We forgive. We grow. The galaxy needed to see both sides of us. Vax Thor nodded slowly. You understand your species better than most. That is why you will be a great teacher. They walked together through the council halls. An unlikely partnership that had helped change galactic history. A massive Krithian warrior and a small human cadet who had shown the universe something it had never seen before. Not just what humans could do when threatened, but what they chose to do when given the chance for peace.